Yo, I'm just making a quick video talking about your fear of being seen. I've been in that situation before where I'm just afraid to be seen. I mean, I wasn't afraid, but unconscious thoughts made me a bit afraid of being seen. So what you should do first off is actually identify what the fear is. Find out what the actual fear is, what you're scared of. Get a journal and write that down and realize what you're actually scared of so that you can actually fight against it. So that you actually know the enemy that you're up against. Because if you don't know what the enemy is, you're in smoke and mirrors. You won't know exactly what it is. You won't know what to fight, and you just be lost and you'll be overwhelmed. And that's not the place to be, because that just demotivates you. So actually find out what it is. Write it down in a journal and find out exactly what it is. And then once you find out what it is, create action steps and fight against it. It might be affirmations. Affirmations are really useful. If you put yourself in that situation where you expose yourself to the situation that you're actually scared of, or where the fear actually appears, and you say these affirmations, say you got an affirmation for each situation that you're scared of. You just say that affirmation to remind you of who you are, and to remind you that you got this, to remind you that you can fight against this no matter what, because you're strong. And the more you fight against these, you'll get used to it. You'll start to rewrite these unconscious strings that you got in your head that dictate your actions when you don't want it to dictate your actions. Therefore, you're consciously changing the unconscious. That's where you want to be. That's what you want to do. So I realized that in class, I was scared to say an answer, although I knew it was right. I don't know why I was scared. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to put myself through some exposure. I'm going to answer a question and see what bad can come out of it, because nothing bad can come out of it. Nothing bad can come out of it. If you get it wrong, hey, you tried. You know what I mean? So you'll become better. You need to build up this resilience in yourself. It's a process. And also celebrate the small achievements. It's a process. It's a journey. It won't be done overnight. Take your time with it. Also remember that everyone has their own insecurities. No matter where you go, no matter who you meet, everyone has their own insecurities. Everyone's fighting their own battle. So trust me, it's totally normal. It's totally normal. But fight against it. Fight against it. Make it your goal to ultimately live a life that you can be proud of. Live as yourself. Be yourself no matter where you go. But for me personally, I use journals. I use journals to write down exactly how I was reacting to these things, understanding myself, understanding why I was reacting to these things. It was probably from childhood, creating unconscious reactions through childhood, and now obviously I got to rewrite that. I got to fight to rewrite it. And trust me, it wasn't easy. It was a headache. It was a headache having to constantly be conscious in every situation to try and change your old reactions to it so that you could be more comfortable. But that's the ultimate motivator, to be more comfortable. So when I thought of that motivator, it always pushed me to fight more for what I wanted, not what other people wanted. And I didn't care what other people thought about me, because it's my life. Live for yourself. I realized is that when I was going through my journey, is every time I'd write down my weaknesses in my journal, I'd still find it hard to actually implement the action steps that I'd created for it. I think that was because I was going against my whole unconscious mind. My whole mind, everything that I've been doing in my whole life, I'm literally going against it. So to actually motivate yourself, think of the ultimate goal, think of the end goal, you being comfortable. You being comfortable in your own skin, you being happier, you not caring about what other people think about you, you knowing yourself more and not letting their opinions define who you are. That's what it is. Think about that goal when you're going through this journey. It won't be easy, I know, but use these affirmations to expose yourself to these situations so that you can be stronger in these situations in the future, so that you can expose yourself to more of these situations and better yourself, be more happier, live your own life. Essentially, it is living for yourself. Don't care what other people think about you. Don't self-sabotage. You know your strengths, you know your talents. Show yourself. So the key things to take out of this video is find out what you want to change. Find out the enemy that you want to fight against so that you can create action steps to fight against it. Because if you are trying to fight it without knowing exactly what it is, you're literally in smoke and mirrors. You don't know exactly where you're going. You're just going to overwhelm yourself essentially. So find out why, find out what it is, and also find out why. Find out exactly why you're thinking this way. It might be from childhood, you know what I mean? So for example, you might have gone through something in childhood and created unconscious reactions to certain situations. So you need to find out why and then create action steps as to how you're going to do this, you know what I mean? How you're going to fight against it. You gotta consciously fight against it in situations where you know it activates. 2 is know who you are. Don't let other people's opinions define who you are. Other people have got their own problems. They can take care of themselves. Don't let them dump their problems onto you. You know what I mean? So know who you are, know your boundaries, know your values, everything like that. You know, just know who you are. It's very important. Number 3 is expose yourself to these situations. You can only get better through experience. So next time you actually approach these situations, you'll be more comfortable with absolute confidence knowing that you made it out of that situation before. And you can only get better through more and more and more repetitions. It's like a house. Build it up, brick after brick. Got a weak foundation, it'll just collapse. Build it up. Don't be in a rush to do it either. It won't happen overnight. It's a step-by-step process. Take your time. Don't overwhelm yourself. Number 4, use affirmations. When you're going into these uncomfortable situations, these situations that make you feel very nervous, use affirmations to empower you. It sounds corny, but trust me, it works. Use them to actually empower you. Remind yourself of who you are. Remind yourself of what you are doing. You are doing it so that ultimately you can feel more comfortable and more confident in the future and make your life a haven. Make your life your life. Don't live for the people. But that's it for me today. Thank you for staying up until this point. Truly appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you want, you know. And any feedback is much appreciated. But hey, that's it. Have a good night, have a good evening, have a good afternoon, good day, everything like that, and peace.